Greetings to everyone. Now, today's class, we are going to see the derivations of Euler's critical load formula for various end conditions. Okay, let us do the problem or derivation now. Here, the load at which, okay, the column is just buckles. That load is called crippling load. So first crippling load. The load at which the column just buckles is called crippling load. Crippling or buckling load. Okay. Now we are going to consider the column AB. So here the case 1 we are going to derive. It is crippling load for Euler's crippling load for the column. Okay, the both ends are hinged. Hinged or pinned. Okay, now that we are going to discuss in right now. So consider the column of A and B have the length of L. Okay, when we are going to apply the load P, the column tends to buckle like this. So here consider a section X from the point A, so that the deflection at X, we are going to take it as a Y. So these things we have to write it, okay? Consider a column AB have hinged ends and the length of column is L. Okay. When the load P is applied on the ends, the column tends to buckle. Okay. At the time, the column profile will change like A, C, B, and the column profile has been changed as ACB. Okay. Now the crippling load P we have to find out. Okay. Here the bending moment, okay, y is equal to deflection of column at x from point or end A. Okay. Now let us move on to the solution part. Okay. Now, so the moment due to crippling load at the section is equal to, in the previous page we can have, that is, moment is nothing but force into perpendicular distance. Okay, now the load P is acting upward, then perpendicular distance means the horizontal load. Okay, so force into distance is equal to P into Y. Now, I already said with respect to sign conversion. Okay, now if it is concavity, then we have to give the minus sign. Okay, now let us go for the moment. So we all know that moment is equal to EI into d squared y by dx squared. Okay, so we are going to equating these two. So equating the above two equations or above two moments. So EI into d squared y by dx squared is equal to minus P into y. So I'm going to take this minus Py into left hand side. So it becomes plus P into y is equal to 0. Now I am going to divide this equation by EI so that the equation will change as d squared y by dx squared plus P into P divided by EI into y is equal to 0. So this is the equation we are going to get it. Now the solution for this equation. Okay, now so this equation will be look like this: d squared y by dx squared plus alpha squared into y is equal to 0. So if it is like this, the solution becomes, okay, uh, c1 into cos alpha x plus c2 into sin alpha x. So this is the solution here. So whereas in this given this formula, okay, now, so alpha squared is equal to P by EA. Okay, so therefore alpha is equal to root under P by EA. Okay, so this is the solution. Now therefore the equation y becomes c1 into cos into alpha, okay, root under P by EA into x plus c2 into sin alpha into x. So alpha becomes P by root under P by EA into x. So this is the solution for the equation. So this equation I'm going to use it as the equation number 1. Okay. In this equation, I need to find out the constant C1, C2 values. So how to calculate constants C1 and C2 values. So for that, we are going to use boundary conditions. So we discussed while in the introduction class Okay, if it is both the ends are hinged. Okay, so the deflection will be 0 where at the hinged ends. Okay, so that we are going to use as a boundary conditions. Okay, so here at x equal to 0 in the figure, so if x equal to 0, then the deflection y is equal to 0. Similarly, at x equal to L, then the deflection equal to 0. Okay, so by using this equation, we are going to find out the constant values. So if at x equal to 0, then y is equal to 0. And at x equal to L, then y is equal to 0. By using this equation, we are going to find out the C1 and C2 value. So substitute these equations. Okay. So this is, I'm going to take it as A. So if I'm going to substitute A, x equal to 0, y equal to 0. Okay, now the equation number 1 becomes, so y equal to 0, C1 into cos 0 here plus C2 into sin 0 here. So cos 0, we all know that so we will cos 0 is equal to 1 and sin 0 is equal to 0. So if I'm going to substitute 0, C1 into cos 0 is equal to 1 plus C2 into sin 0 is equal to 0. Therefore, C1 value is become 0 now. Okay, now next I have to substitute this value C1, that is my next edge conditions, that is at x equal to L, then y is equal to 0. So that I can substitute. Meanwhile, the C1 value I have calculated as 0. Okay, that we are going to substitute. So now the y becomes, so y is equal to 0, C1 value is also 0 plus C2 into sine, instead of x, I am going to substitute L into root under P by A. Okay. Now the equation we can simplify it as 0 is equal to C2 into sine L into root under P by A. Okay. So while solving this, okay, now, so C2 we can take as 0, but we cannot take sine into L into root under P by EI is equal to 0. Okay. So that's why we are going to use. Okay. So now from the above, using above boundary conditions, we got C1 is equal to 0 and C2 is equal to 0. So we are going to substitute this. Okay. So sine L into root under P by EI is equal to 0. We got the equation. Okay. So therefore, if I'm going to keep this L into this term, okay, now, so when I can get sine is equal to 0, so sine 0 I can get it in sine 0. Okay, sine 0 equal to 0, then sine 180 degree is equal to 0, then sine 360 degree is equal to 0. So this terms sine 0, when I can get, when sine value 0 I can get, so if it is sine become 0 or pi. 180 means pi, 360 means 2 pi, 3 pi. If the like the term is increasing means I can get the value of sine equal to 0. Okay, sine pi is equal to 0, like that I can get. So now I am going to substitute this value. Okay, so L into root under P by EI is equal to pi. I cannot simply substitute 0 since I already said here it is not equal to 0. Okay, so pi I can give. So if I am going to substitute pi, then these terms I am going to do the squares. Okay, so L squared into P by EI is equal to pi squared. Okay, now, so these terms I can do like this. Okay, do squaring on both sides. So the term will be changed as L squared into P by EI is equal to pi square. Okay, so now I need Euler's crippling load for the end condition of both ends are hinged. Okay, so P is nothing but crippling load or buckling load. So this is nothing but Euler's crippling load. So P, I am going to keep it in left side. So remaining terminologies are going to right side. Pi squared EI by L squared in denominator. So the value is becomes P is equal to pi squared EI by L squared is the equation of, that is Euler's equation for column how both the ends are hinged. Okay, so this is the equation. P is equal to pi squared EI by L square. So mostly in general case, Euler's equation is nothing but pi squared EI by L square. Okay, so this is the common terminology we are going to use, L square. Okay, P is equal to. So I already said if both ends are hinged, the effective length is becomes L. Okay, now since there is no deflection, there is no deflection, and the slope is going to start from here itself. Okay, now so that's why we are telling that L effective is equal to L. So if I'm going to substitute L effective is equal to L, the formula didn't change. Okay, pi squared EI by L square. So same formula we got here. Okay. Next case 2. Okay, and that is with respect to second end condition. That is Euler's crippling load for column. For column of one end is fixed and the other end is free. Okay, now this is for cantilever section. So let us go for the diagram. So here this is the one end is fixed and the other end of the column has been free. Okay, so now if I am going to apply the load, okay, automatically the deflection is going to happen like this. Okay, now so here the column length of the column we are going to take it as a small l. Okay, now and where at the free end the deflection value is becomes small a. Okay, now and with respect to the x distance from the end a, the deflection value we are going to take it as a y. Okay, now the position of column AB after the application of load, it is going to change as a AB dash. Okay, now let us move on to the solution part. So first, so the things whatever we have said, no, that we are going to write it in the written statement. Okay, so consider a beam, sorry, consider a column AB, the end A is fixed and the end B is free. The length of the column is going to taken as L. Okay, and the crippling load P is applied. Okay, the deflection, the net deflection is A at the free end. Okay, and the span X is to be considered from the end A. So at X, the deflection, that is the lateral deflection, is taken as Y. Okay, now the column AB profile has been changed as AB dash after application of load. After application of load. Okay. Now we have to find out the crippling load value. Okay. So we should move on to the next page. So let y is equal to deflection or lateral displacement of column at section X. Second one is A, deflection of column at its free end. Okay. Now the moment, therefore, the moment due to crippling load, moment due to crippling load, M is equal to, at section X we are going to take. Okay. So coming to the first. So if I'm going to take it here, P into A minus Y is the value, which means force into perpendicular distance. Okay. So force P is acting here. Okay. So I am going to consider section here. So here the total net deflection is becomes A. The load is acting here. So if I want to from here to here means P into A minus Y if I am going to give. Okay. For the deflection. So sorry, for the moment. So P into A minus Y, which we are going to take it as PA minus PY. Okay. Next, we all know that moment M is equal to EI into D squared Y by dx squared. So we are going to equate these two terminologies. Okay. So equating the above two equations. Okay, so EI into d squared y by dx squared is equal to, so we know that here the profile is becomes convexity. Okay, convexity. If it is convexity, then we are going to use plus sign for the moment. Okay, so PA minus PY. Now the equation is going to change it as Ey into d squared y by dx squared minus becomes plus P into y is equal to P into A. Okay. Now I am going to divide this equation by Ei. Okay. So then the equation becomes changed as d squared y by dx squared plus P by Ei into y is equal to P by Ei into A. So the equation will be in the form of, so I'm going to take it as P by Ei is equal to alpha square. Okay. So then the equation will be in the form of d squared y by dx squared plus alpha squared y is equal to alpha squared A. So the equation will be in the form of like this. Okay. So here alpha is nothing but root under P by Ei. And now the solution for this equation is solution for the above equation becomes y is equal to C1 into cos alpha x plus C2 into sin alpha x plus alpha squared into A plus alpha squared into A divided by alpha squared. So alpha squared becomes get cancelled. Okay, now how the way we are going to substitute, we all know that alpha is equal to root under P by A. So C1 into cos, so the formula, this one you have to remember. So based on that only we are going to do the remaining calculation part. Okay. So cos into alpha x root under P by Ei into x plus C2 into sin root under P by Ei into x plus A. So this is the solution for the equation number equation number so for this equation, okay, so this equation I'm going to take it as a equation number 1. So if I need the deflection value, okay, then I have to calculate the values of constant C1 and C2, okay. So we all know that for fixed end, the slope and deflection is 0, okay. So first we should consider that at x is equal to 0 with respect to the previous figure, okay, at x is equal to 0, the deflection y also equal to 0 and slope dy by dx is equal to 0. So this we are going to substitute to find out the values of C1 and C2. So at x equal to 0, y is equal to 0. Substitute this. So equation 1 becomes x equal to 0, y equal to 0, C1 into cos 0 plus C2 into sine 0 plus A. So cos 0 is equal to 1. So C1 into 1 plus C2 into sine 0, 0 plus A. Therefore, C1 becomes minus A. Okay. So next boundary conditions, that is at x is equal to 0, dy by dx is equal to 0. That is slope is equal to 0. So this equation I am going to use right now. So we have only y. So in order to get dy by dx, the above equation can be differentiated with respect to x. So differentiate the equation 1 with respect to x. So the equation becomes dy by dx is equal to C1 into minus sine into x into root under p by EI. Into this term we are going to differentiate. So we are going to get it as a p by root EI. So root under p by EI. Next, plus C2 into cos, if I am going to take it as, sorry, sine, if I am going to take it, differentiate, I can get cos. So cos into x into root under p by EI. Into this term, I am going to differentiate again into root under p by EI. So the x becomes 0. Okay, 1. And plus A is the constant, so it will vanish. Okay, now, so A becomes 0. Now, the equation becomes, so dy by dx is equal to minus C1 into sin x into root under p by EI into root under p by EI plus C2 into cos x into root under p by EI into root under p by EI. So this is equation number 2. Now we know the boundary condition. What is the boundary condition? So dy by dx is equal to 0. That is, slope is equal to 0. So if I'm going to substitute this, the equation number 2 becomes 0 is equal to C1 value, we got it as a minus a. So minus into minus becomes minus of minus a, okay, into, so we don't want to substitute C here, okay, C1 value here. So dy by dx is equal to 0. So minus C1 into sine, system becomes 0 into root under p by a, we can get it, plus C2 into cos, distance becomes 0 under root under p by a. So cos 0, we all know that cos 0 equal to 1 and sin 0 is equal to 0. So the equation number 2 becomes, that is at x equal to 0, dy by dx equal to 0 because of fixed end, okay. Now if I'm going to substitute these values, these boundary conditions, my equation number 2 becomes 0 minus C1 into sine 0 into root p by ei plus C2 into cos 0 into root p by ei. We all know that cos 0 is equal to 1 and sin 0 is equal to 0. Okay. If I'm going to substitute this, 0 is equal to C2 into C2 into root under p by ei. So this is our equation. So in this equation, there are two terminologies. Okay, C2 we can have. So C2 is equal to 0, but the term P by EI does not 0. So this is the conditions. Okay. So now we know that C2 is equal to 0 and C1 is equal to minus A, the constants. Okay. So the constants values we are going to substitute in equation number 1. Okay. So equation number 1 is nothing but y is equal to C1 sine, C1 cos x into root under p by ei plus C2 sine root under, x into root under p by ei plus a. Okay. So if I am going to substitute C1 is equal to minus a and C2 is equal to 0, okay, the equation number 1 becomes, so y is equal to minus a, so this term is going to be 0, okay, minus a into cos x into root under p by ei plus a. So this is the equation we are getting. So here, so another boundary condition we are going to use, that is, if the end is free, okay, now, then the deflection is not equal to 0. So here the deflection is maximum deflection, that value is A. Okay, if the end is free, the deflection is equal to maximum. Okay, which is nothing but the second boundary conditions, that is third boundary conditions. Third boundary condition. third boundary condition. Yeah, at free end. Okay, at if the x is equal to L, then y is equal to the maximum deflection A. So if I'm going to substitute in this equation, then the equation 3 becomes y is equal to A minus A into cos. Instead of x, I'm going to substitute L into root P by EI plus A. So these two get cancelled. Okay, plus A and minus A becomes 0. Now the equation is A into cos L into root under P by EI is equal to 0. So that it becomes cos L into root under P by EI is equal to 0. So when the cos terms is equal to 0, so cos 90 degree or cos 270 degree, okay, now so like if I'm going to get the values, then automatically the value is 0. For example, okay, cos 90 degree is equal to, so cos 90 is equal to 0. Cos 270 degree is equal to 0. Okay, now so this 90 I'm going to write it as a pi by 2, so that 270 degree I'm going to write it as a 3 pi by 2. So likewise I can move. So cos pi by 2 is equal to 0, cos 3 pi by 2 is equal to 0, cos 5 by 2 is equal to 0. Likewise the term is going to. So now instead of that value, how I am going to write it in a L into root under P by EI is equal to pi by 2 I am going to write. Okay. Now I am going to do squaring. LHS and RHS. So L squared into P by EI is equal to pi squared by 4. Therefore, P becomes, that is crippling load, crippling or buckling load is equal to pi squared EI by 4 into L squared. So the load has been changed as 4 pi squared EI by 4 L squared. So normally the Euler's equation for column, we already said that P is equal to pi squared EI by L squared. Okay. So for one end fixed and another end is free, the L effective is equal to 2 times of L I said. Okay. So in this above equation, okay, if I'm going to substitute instead of L is equal to 2L, what will happen? P is equal to pi squared EI by, instead of L squared is equal to L effective squared. Okay. So that I'm going to substitute as 2L square. So the equation will be changed as pi squared EI by 4L squared. So this we got it as an answer. So whatever we have done, that is correct. Thank you. So remaining we can have another two category that we will discuss by next class. Thank you all.